Welcome back. It's the Marketer of the Day podcast with Mr. Adam Nathan from Blaze.ai. And we're going to talking about the subject that people just can't get enough of these days. It's AI, it's content, it's social media. So Blaze.ai is this amazing tool that allows you to make great content as a team of one with the snap of a finger. Blaze creates all the content you need and posts it for you. And Adam is big on, if you're one of these kind of smaller, like the David size business, and you want to compete with the Goliath size business, now this has been more democratized, right? I mean, ChatGPT, it's free, it's $20 a month. It's like, it does all these cool things. With all these AI tools, we can finally compete with the big guys. So Adam is going to tell us how to do it, how to avoid going wrong, what Blaze is all about, and how it can help you. And so, Adam, glad to be speaking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Robert.
And so AI is super amazing, right? It's like magic. I use it to like edit videos and find good clips. And so just to get us caught up, I mean, what AI is kind of thrown around a lot, right? So when someone says, all right, bare basics, what is AI even and how can it help me? What's your answer?
Yeah, well, as you said, AI is a buzzword right now, and certainly a trendy topic. I think about AI as just what is currently the frontier technology. Lots of things we take advantage of today, whether it's like cell phones or GPS or microwaves, used to be advanced technology in their own right. And I think AI, what we call AI today, in reality is technology called large language models, which basically use probability to answer questions. That's just the kind of current technology of the time, and it's certainly opening up use cases and creating value disproportionately to lots of stuff that came before it. And so it feels like magic, but I think what matters to us is really what this technology can do for real people. There's lots of great demos out there if you're on social media that show crazy stuff AI is doing, and in reality, it doesn't work that well for most people with most products. And so I think we as buzzy as it is, and certainly that's helped us and the growth of our business, we really focus on what are real problems that real people have, and how can we use this latest and greatest technology to solve them better than ever before. And in a lot of cases, in the case of our business in particular, we're able to solve a problem now that nobody could solve before. And so that's really cool. And I think a real tactical, useful application of AI. But I define AI as just this kind of new technology, and after what we're experiencing right now with LLMs, so there would be more stuff. OpenAI just released their O1 model, which does much more complex quantitative reasoning, and so as that comes to market, I'm sure there'll be many new companies with new use cases that are now available. But I'm happy to explain more about the technology of AI. But I think what we've heard from our customers, we serve hundreds of thousands of people around the world, is that they're less interested in like how the technology works and more about what it can do for them.
And that's what marketing's all about, right? Like I don't need to know when I turn the key to start my car, is there like some crankshaft or fuel injection or pistons? Like if I want to know that, that's great, but I just want to know, will it start? Will it get me to where I know where I want to go? And that way it can become just a useful tool, because there's so much noise, there's so much to think about. We want to just like, when we use our phones, we don't care that it goes and talks to space. We just want to click the button and use it. And so I want to get into what Blaze does, but just to kind of, for my own purposes, like recap what you said here. Like, so you're saying that like AI is the large language models in particular uses probabilities, right? So we say like peanut butter, and then it might guess like and jelly, or like peanut butter sandwich, or peanut butter crackers. It just guesses these things, and there's just like so much data, so much computing power that you can say, write me an article about real estate investing, and it'll spit it out. And even we'll take this recording we're doing right now, and we'll dump out the words, the transcript, and the AI will like listen to all the sounds and like get the exact words that we said, and it'll say like, write us a title that makes sense. We'll say, write us a LinkedIn post, write us an email, and it'll give us all this time saving stuff that we then can say, well, based on what the AI gave us, is that good or is that bad? Is that what we want or don't want? And then we'll just end up having just days worth of work done in mere minutes. And so when someone talks to me about using AI to create content, that's the kind of stuff that comes to mind, right? Is all the kind of the busy work. We normally wouldn't want to have to listen to a whole 30-minute podcast to come up with these keywords, but that's just my guess. So Blaze.ai, Blaze.ai, what is it?
Yeah, Blaze is the number one tool out there for what we call teams of one. And so it's a complete full stack marketing platform that helps teams of one uh, plan, brainstorm, schedule, and analyze content across copy, images, and videos. And when we say teams of one, who I'm talking about are not big businesses, not professional marketers in New York or San Francisco, but entrepreneurs, small business owners, freelancers, agencies, who are spread across the United States and the world, who have to do marketing to grow their businesses, but aren't marketers themselves. And so we serve financial advisors, real estate agents, life coaches, fitness trainers, manufacturing companies, direct to consumer e-commerce businesses, basically the backbone of the American economy and also the global economy. And a lot of these businesses that I'm talking about are very small. In many cases, they only have one person in them. And that one person, if you're listening and you're nodding along, this probably explains your day-to-day existence. You have to wear 9 or 10 hats. You're both creating your product, you're servicing customers, you're paying the bills, you're cleaning the floors at night. And then you, on top of all that stuff, just to get the business, just to keep the business running, you have to figure out how to grow it. And a lot of the tools that have been built for these businesses to date have helped them get online. There's great tools like Stripe or Square for payments processing. There's Squarespace for building websites. There's MailChimp for sending emails. So in terms of helping these businesses grow on the internet, the foundations have been built, or the door frame has been created, but those tools don't actually help you create great content. They don't help you analyze what's working and do more of it. They're the foundation, but they're not the actual tooling that you need to grow. And so a lot of our customers, I think if you look at the broader stats, 30% of small businesses in America still don't have a website. 70% of small businesses aren't advertising online. And so even though there's, the tooling out there, and of course we all may see, ads on Google or on Facebook or Instagram, many of those are funded by big companies that are run by professional marketers. And so what AI allows us to do for these teams of one is level the playing field, essentially, because now you don't have to have the skills of a professional marketer or have a full-time marketer on your staff in order to do great marketing. All you need is a tool like Blaze, which can basically generate emails, landing pages, social media content, and blogs in your brand voice and style. It's basically like having a full-time marketer on your team who's able to produce work for you in a matter of seconds for you versus you having to hire an agency or spend your nights and weekends trying to figure out how to do marketing on your own.
Very cool. And you make an important distinction there about all these amazing tools exist that didn't even exist a few years ago, right? And so a small business owner, lawyer, accountant, whoever might say, "Oh my gosh, you mean I can just take credit cards just like that?" Well, yes. "Oh my gosh, you mean I can just have a web page? I can just send emails?" Yes. But then I think a very common problem with a lot of these super small businesses, these one-person businesses, as you say, is they have these tools, they pay for the tool, but it just sits there, right? When's the last time they sent an email blast? I don't know, months ago. Is that web page done? No, maybe they're part of that 30% without having any web pages. And so there's this idea of like the content, right? Like it doesn't matter so much. Like there's all these tools that exist, but I need the content creator on the web page and the marketing emails, and whatever autoresponder will do the job. But I'm paying for this thing monthly and I haven't even sent one email. So I need a tool such as Blaze to help me out. And maybe they've been limited or frustrated. They're like, well, I don't have the budget dealing with the marketing person. It's extra time spent. Maybe I'll have to go back and forth because they don't understand like the lawyering, accounting terms like I do. And so when someone uses Blaze to kind of shortcut all of that, you mentioned a cool idea in there that it sounds like that you can kind of get the information out there and it says what you would have said. But you guys, like you and I both know, like it depends on how you use the tool. So how can someone like make their dreams come true in this way? How can they put out the web pages and the email blasts and the social content, but to avoid the genericness of AI, so that way it sounds like them and has their personality?
Well, I think most tools, as you're saying, do struggle with producing content that sounds like their users. If you use ChatGPT, it produces content in what a lot of people call internet voice. It just kind of sounds like an amalgamation of everything out there and not necessarily like how you speak or how you write in your brand. And so we at Blaze have two features that I think are pretty magical in this respect, that create content that sounds and looks like you. We have a feature called Brand Voice, which with just your homepage or a document, even if you don't even have a homepage yet, we analyze the way that you write on 7 different aspects, things like your syntax, who your audience is, what your brand purpose is, your tone of voice, and all that's editable. And so we give you an analysis, but you can still make sure that it's 100% correct from your perspective. And then we make sure that all the content we generate, all the copy we generate, uses that brand voice. And we actually see a lot of our customers creating multiple brand voices. If you have different ways you speak about different products or different geographies of customers you serve, or you have different brand subsidiaries, if you're an agency, if you have lots of clients, you can create multiple brand voices in Blaze so that depending on who you're speaking to, it sounds different. We also have a feature that we just released this week to all of our customers called Brand Styles, where if you give us your Instagram handle or your Facebook page, we can analyze it and pull out your logo, your colors, your fonts, and your photo vibe so that all the visual content we generate for you looks like you. And so both of those features are super helpful. And making sure that anytime you go on Blaze and you want to generate a piece of content, from the start, it's 95% plus accurate to what you would write or create on your own.
That is so cool. And there's this interesting idea here that if you're looking to create the branding, the colors, the writing, that's like more of what you have created or what you would have created. There's this problem of like, I don't even know what I'm looking at, right? And it's like when you and I were both kids, we had like school assignments, had to write that essay. There wasn't a lot of thought being given to the structure, the framework, like the kind of the design of the writing. But now that this amazing AI tool exists, now we can kind of like take a more manager hat on, right? And instead of like being like, let me like struggle through this sentence or this paragraph, now this business owner can say, well, hey, I'm the one person big boss, right? I can say, hey, write that, don't write that. I like this phrasing or not that, but they don't have to struggle with the way that things are like worded. You can just tell the AI, hey, word that differently. When it makes the graphics, the colors, to say, hey, that's not quite there. Can you just start from scratch, or can it be more like that? And I can only imagine that with all the many exciting businesses that are using this tool, you get to kind of scratch the creativity itch, right? Because it's one thing to be like, I don't know, in whatever industry, but you have a tool like this, you get to just play around in all these different playgrounds and spaces. And so, is there a particularly interesting like niche industry, like case study, success story you feel like talking about, like some really cool business that's used Blaze?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, we have hundreds of thousands of customers who use the product, and yeah, I talk to 2 or 3 customers every single day, so we're constantly hearing from folks about how we've helped them grow faster on the internet, and it's clear from the first minute you use Blaze how much time you can save with it, and how it actually produces better content than what you would do on your own. But what's really cool for us is hearing about business results, how Blaze actually helps someone grow awareness, increase conversion, drive more sales, make more profits. So we've heard stories of customers who have gone from having 0 followers to having 5 or 6 figures of followers on Instagram and Facebook. We've had customers who have used Blaze to improve their SEO and get from the 10th page on Google to the first page in terms of rankings on relevant search results. We've had customers tell us that they've taken their first vacation in years because of Blaze, and the time it's freed up for them. We've had customers say that it's increased their revenue by 5 or 10x because they're able to serve many more people now thanks to Blaze. And so it's stories like that are the reasons we build, and we're building the product we do, why we do what we do. It's core to our mission, which is to make AI more accessible for Main Street, for regular people. And a lot of big businesses like corporations are using AI to cut costs or to downsize or to fire people. And the really cool thing about serving small businesses is that it's actually not a cost cutting tool, it's a money making tool, because it allows you to do more, often at a higher quality than what you could do before.
Amazing. And that is a great way of looking at it. You think about like what's Walmart or Target doing in AI? Well, they're trying to, automate, remove jobs. And you say, well, if there's this small business, they've been held back by the lack of marketing, and now they can get the word out there, and now they can get those better clients. Now they can kind of just speed up the pace of the business by using this tools. And so you mentioned that there's all these cool things that it does, right? There's the brand voice, and then there's like the marketing calendar, and you mentioned about how, what's the new thing called with the graphics?
Brand styles.
Brand styles. And so there's all these things that can be done. And so is there a logical path? Like, it seems like it could be like a choose your own adventure, right? Like, maybe I want to focus on the email or the social, but is there like a good, like, the first 30 days, is there like a recommended like things to do, bases to be covered for a new Blaze user?
Yeah, well, in our onboarding, we take you through some of those features I mentioned around brand voice and brand styles so that within literally the first 60 seconds of using the tool, you get content that's personalized for you. We also have a cool feature called source materials where you can upload aspects of your website or product briefs, documents you have, so that Blaze actually learns deeply about your products and services and business so that the content itself, not just the voice, but the substance of the content reflects details of what you do. But I'd say that, the coolest feature in Blaze, or my favorite, well, I have two favorite features. One is these planning wizards that we have that can generate months of content for you in one click. And so, for example, if you're a direct-to-consumer business and you want to create a month's worth of Instagram content advertising a new SKU that you have, you can tell give Blaze just a prompt. You can upload photos of the product, and Blaze will create 30 distinct Instagram posts for you. It will pick a template. It will change the image. It will write the caption, and then it will schedule and post it for you. And so, in basically 10 minutes, you can have your entire month's worth of content planned on Instagram or on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or on your blog. And so we have a lot of customers who are saying they've already planned out the rest of their year on Blaze. And so they don't have to worry about posting on social media anymore. We also have a feature that we call Turn Into, which can take a website like your homepage. It could take an audio file like this podcast. It can take a video file like a YouTube video you made, or a long document like a white paper, and then turn it into a whole campaign. So you can ask Blaze to take those source materials and turn them into social media posts, newsletters, blog posts, landing pages, customer service replies, help center docs. And so you can create 100 different types of docs from one piece of source material. And that solves, I think, a really annoying part and very time-consuming aspect of marketing, which is even after you've spent a lot of time creating a really good anchor piece of content, you then have to go repurpose it and repeat yourself in all these different formats. And that can be that can take many, many hours, if not days, and also just be kind of mind-numbing work. And so between planning a whole month's worth of your content and then taking one piece of content and turning it into 100, we save customers millions of hours every month. And as I mentioned, not just the raw amount of time that's important, but also that the fact that those are hours that are often mind-numbing and boring and could be definitely better utilized on some other aspect of the business.
100%. And you're mentioning kind of an underrated feature of LLMs, but also AIs in general, is just this ability of, you give it all this stuff, right? You give it like all these raw materials, and then it can just like pick and choose what's important. Like, you upload some piece of writing, upload a document, like you said, upload an audio, this podcast, YouTube, and there's a lot of just the pleasantries, or us talking, or me recapping what you're saying, and then there's the little nuggets that are important, and then there's also just that, like you said, there's the tediousness of adapting it to the different formats and meeting people where they're at. Like when especially when like Facebook was new, there was all this like, well, what size is this banner and this carousel, and then Twitter came out and it's like, what's the length of a tweet, and YouTube, what's the ideal size. There's all these things that we used to have to look up, right? Used to have these cheat sheets, but now you ask the AI, or even better, you tell the AI what to do. And even better than that is, there's been, even like a few minutes before this podcast, I had like a big chunk of writing, and I was like, I need it to fit in this smaller space. Can you do it? And it just did it. And it would have taken me an hour, but in like seconds, it's like, hey, this fits in the smaller space. So that's some underrated benefits of AI, just the separating the signal from the noise, but also the resizing the different shapes with all these social media platforms, but also the outputs, right? You do the tweet, you do the graphic, you do the white paper, you do the report, all these other things. It can all just be done with Blaze. And also, something that I'm making a mental note of is, I like your philosophy here of, you mentioned that you onboard your customers, And you also mentioned about like talking to one or two customers a day just to kind of get the repetitions in and to kind of have your ear to the ground. And these last few minutes, can you like unpack that? Because it seems like not everyone does that, right? Not everyone talks to their customers, possibly to their detriment.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for what other people do or not. We think that the only reason we exist is to build something that people need and love and are willing to pay for. And our goal is to turn our customers into our biggest fans. We want them, yeah, not just to like be okay with using our product and hold their nose while they buy it, but we want them to love it. We want them to identify with our brand, and with the platform. The best, most valuable companies in the world, Apple, Nike, Starbucks, are all companies that have built products people love. And you could say they're just sneakers, but for a lot of people, Nike is part of their identity. They have an association with it on an emotional level. And so the way that we do that is by talking to our customers and trying to understand their needs, their hopes, their dreams, their lives, how they live their day, what the pain points are, so that we can solve them. And the best way to build something that people want is to ask them what they want and then make sure you do it. And so everything that we build, our whole roadmap is prioritized according to what we hear from customers. And so we invest a lot in customer service. We have an incredible customer satisfaction rate. We make sure that every time for example, when customers come to us with problems with the software or bugs, we often have an engineer on our team pair with the customer live to make sure that we solve it and understand what's happening for them. Our entire roadmap, every single day we go through issues that customers reported the day before with our entire engineering team, so that we're prioritizing those issues ahead of new feature work. We meet every week to talk about what we're hearing qualitatively from customers to make sure that it's ranked appropriately in our roadmap, what we're building next. I talk to our customers to understand, what they like about the software and what they like us to build in the future, so that we're meeting their needs and helping them realize their goals. And so, again, you could say it's nice of me, but in some ways, I think it's just a rational way to run a business. It's the best thing I can do to make sure that we are successful as a business is to make sure our customers are really happy. And I mentioned our brand because for us, it's not just about building a great product, which I think we have, but also about building something more than the product. Building a brand that has a big idea behind it. And for us, it's that just because you're small doesn't mean you can't be great. And a lot of small businesses, as a category, are kind of undervalued and discounted and underinvested in. They're often the last to get access to new technologies, and we're here to change that with AI. We think that, as we just talked about, AI can be a revolutionary force for small businesses, and finally giving them the tools they need to level the playing field and compete and win against bigger companies, and more importantly, build the kind of business they've always wanted to build, with more time and control than ever. And so that's our mission, and that's why we exist. And so I think a lot of our customers love us because not just because of what the product does for them, but because what we're here for and what we're trying to do for the broader world. And I think that's we feel that mission deeply. That's why we all come to work every day to why we're all excited to get up in the morning, even. But I think it's also just good business because I think, as you know, businesses with shitty products and shitty brands don't stay around for very long. We're trying to build something big and durable with Blaze, and I think we're well on our way.
I think so too. It sounds like it. And you're saying a lot of the right stuff, right? This idea of like being obsessed and saying, well, here's my product, here's my brand, but like here's this even larger scope of how we want to change the world and improve lives and help businesses. And you mentioned in there about like people's needs, hopes, and dreams, their lives and their pain points. And I think that's really cool to like continue to think about on a recurring daily basis. You squash the bugs, you look into the features, you figure out what they want, so that way you end up with all these just amazing examples, use cases, and just ways that they've used your amazing tools, and that you continue to innovate and help even more people, and it just kind of continues. And those people that take their business seriously survive, and those that don't, they end up kind of going to the wayside and get forgotten about. But then if you're like a Nike or an Apple, where like Apple's big on saying like, hey, you got this Macintosh, you got this computer, but what are you actually going to create with it? That's a very interesting, exciting idea. And so as we kind of got each other hyped up about the possibilities and all these things that could be done, in these last few minutes, I definitely want to circle back about Blaze, because I kind of have two questions. Question number one is like, where can we see some of the output? like you mentioned about how like people make amazing like Instagram posts and stuff like that. I don't know if that's on like the official Blaze Instagram. Question number two is, where do we go? How do we find out about this really cool thing and start using it?
Yeah, so we publish stories about how our customers are using the product and finding success with it. I think every day on our Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn pages, so you can find us on social media and watch real customers talk about how they're using AI to grow faster and make more money and take more control over their futures. And all of those stories are also available on our homepage, which is at Blaze.ai. And yeah, anyone who's listening would love for you to try out the product. We have a 7-day free trial. It's $27 a month, which I think is a steal, frankly. Most customers get their money back within the first hour of using the product. If you think about how long it would take you to do even one of the things that we've been talking about today on the podcast, it's and so it's I think a super cheap tool for the value it produces for business in terms of more impressions and leads and revenue. And yeah, we'd love to hear what people think about the product. If you contact our customer support channel, you can be sure that someone on our executive team will see your feedback, both positive and negative. And as I said, we track it closely to make sure that we are doing everything we can to make your life easier.
Very awesome and amazing. Sounds like a Zappos level of like intense monitoring of the feedback and the customer service. So that's Blaze on social media, BLAZE.ai. If you're trying to keep up with all the AI tools, you get so overwhelmed about just all the things that exist, then why not use one that's actually designed for you, the small business owner, and you, the non-techie? We're talking about things like writing the landing page copy, doing the social posts, doing the brand colors, the content calendar. By the way, are there any like amazing cutting edge features that are coming soon?
Yeah, we're working on a lot of video features right now, which are super cool. The ability for us to generate a video for you, like an Instagram reel or a TikTok post, or a YouTube short with just a prompt. So all you have to do is have a couple sentences on what you want to do, and Blaze will write the copy, pick stock photography, add some music and transitions, and let you post from the tool. We're even working on things related to what are called digital avatars or digital twins, where you can have a person speak the script that you write or that Blaze writes for you. And Blaze will make the mouth of that person move so it looks like they're saying the words you written. And so it's all AI generated, but it's pretty scarily accurate, I'd say, in making it look and sound like what you want a person to say. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming along with video, and again, it produces a quality of output that most small businesses wouldn't, I think, often know how to do on their own, and probably wouldn't even be able to hire someone to do. And so it's really cool to see the quality difference that I think we're going to enable for small businesses.
Right. In order to accomplish some of these things you're mentioning, they might have to use like 10, 20 different tools. And at that point, what are you paying per month? You have to hire someone just to manage all that. It makes a lot more sense to have it in all in one place, such as Blaze.ai. They've got that content calendar. They've got the brand voice. You can post to social media. It integrates with all kinds of other services. And so Blaze.ai is the place to go to get this bird's eye view of your content, to do the social posting, to generate all this stuff. And that way it sounds like you don't have to hire a marketing person. You can grow your business by going to Blaze.ai. Click and sign up for that 7-day free trial. And before I let you go, Mr. Adam, it's time for the show near the end where I like to stump my guest a little bit. And because we all read books, right? We all consume social media, and we always get these like bite-sized little quotes. And a podcast is great for the bite-sized quotes. So is there a particular quote or lesson that has helped you in your travels that you can pass along to us? What comes to mind as far as a quote or lesson?
I like the idea of doing your homework. I think a lot of people don't prepare for anything, whether it's a first date or a job interview or a podcast. And so I think, luck is just the combination of preparation and opportunity. And I think you don't know when an opportunity is going to come along, but you can be prepared for the things you want and to claim those chances when you get them. And so I just think, doing your homework on the important things in life often helps you succeed.
That's very inspiring. Luck is preparation plus opportunity, and you can't necessarily control the opportunities that come your way, but you can control what you do to prepare and to jump on that and apply it when it happens. And so, what are you and your business waiting for? Are you prepared or not? Are you ignoring LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc.? Well, it's time to change that and to start using Blaze.ai. Use this magical or not so magical tool called AI to get your brand's voice out there, overcome your competition, get the messaging out there. That way you can get more clients, take a vacation, get back to what you love, etc. Blaze.ai is the tool for you. And thank you very much, Mr. Adam Nathan, for showing up, telling us about your product, and for inspiring, educating us in a whole bunch of cool ways. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.